Hello there you guys, welcome to another one of my videos. Fulham 0, Manchester United 1 at Craven Cottage. Lisandro Martinez scored a deflected strike in the 78th minute. That made the difference. Reflecting on the win, Manchester United have moved up to 12 in the Premier League. Toby Collier made an imperative goal line clearance late on. Amad Diallo had a goal ruled out by VAR. Fulham, of course, had their chances in that first half. Raul Jimenez, had two good opportunities. Amad Traore had a good chance, and so too did Alex Iwobi. So Fulham did create chances in that game. Like I've said, Manchester United have got a good record at Craven Cottage. Manchester United have not lost at Craven Cottage since 2009. It was good to see Manchester United bounce back from that 3-1 defeat to Brighton in the league. Manchester United not so long ago beat Rangers 2-1 at Old Trafford in the Europa League. Bruno Fernandes scored a stoppage time winner. After the game against Fulham, Ruben Amorim has come out and admitted that scoring goals is a problem for his side, despite the win over Fulham. And he's also mentioned, not in his 40s, in his 50s, on his age, after 2 months at Manchester United. Of course, Man United are missing 3 players, is it? Obviously we're still missing Mason Mount, Luke Shaw and Johnny Evans. As for Fulham, they were missing 2 players. Reece Nelson is injured, and so too is Kenny Teti. But it's a good win for Manchester United. Prior to the game I did say, this would be a tough game for Man United. Fulham are a pretty decent team. 10th in the Premier League. A decent manager in Marco Silva. He's been the Fulham manager now for over 3 years. He got appointed in as the Fulham manager back in July 2021. He's under contract with Fulham until 2026. He's proven in the Premier League is Marco Silva. Before managed Everton, he's managed Watford, managed Hull. He's managed away from England as well. He managed Olympiacos, Sporting Lisbon, Estoril. So he's managed quite a lot of clubs, hasn't he? So, Manchester United have done the double over Fulham this season, beating them 1-0 tonight at Craven Cottage, beating them 1-0 on the opening day of the season at Old Trafford. Fulham did win at Old Trafford last season 2-1. Fulham have only won 1 of their last 19 Premier League games against Manchester United, and that was that 2-1 win last season. But like I've mentioned, Ruben Amorim does need time at the club. He's been in charge of Man United now for 3 months. He needs time to recommend the right players in, get rid of the deadwood. I'm hoping that Ruben Amorim gets the backing he deserves. You know, obviously there is problems at Manchester United, like I've already, you know, discussed with you. You know, obviously Sir Jim Ratcliffe is a problem because he's made mistakes. He's replicated what the Glazers have produced at the club. You know, the Glazers have owned Manchester United since 2005. Obviously, Ineos haven't really done much since they've come in either. You know, a lot of players are issues at the club as well. And I've already said, you know, we need to get rid of the vast majority of them players. You know, obviously, looks like Casemiro's on his way out of the club. Anthony, of course, has left. He's gone to Real Betis on loan. It looks very imminent that Terrell Malacia is going to be leaving. You know, get rid of Lindelof because he doesn't get in the team. You know, he's just come back from a concussion. You know, get rid of Onana, not a good enough goalkeeper. You know, Luke Shaw passed his sell-by date. You know, he's injury prone. He's close to returning. You know, don't get me wrong though, Luke Shaw's had a good career at Manchester United. You know, he was our first choice left back for a long time. You know, would you get rid of Mason Mount? Obviously, you know, there's been rumours of Kobbie Mainoo leaving the club. Obviously, Rashford, you know, he could be on his way out of the club as well. Like I mentioned to you earlier on, Marcus Rashford apparently is willing to take a pay cut to make his dream move to Barcelona. Ruben Amorim does not want Rashford at the club. You know, he's asked him from the squad, but he's come out and said that Rashford's future is unknown. Rashford recently rejected a £35 million per year salary from Saudi Arabia. But revert back to what a couple of months ago Rashford said he wants a new challenge. Obviously, there's a lot of rumours of Garnacho leaving the club. You know, he's been linked to a move to Napoli. He's been linked to a move to Chelsea. Napoli will not overpay for Garnacho, says the director. You know, Manchester United are demanding around, 60 or 70 million for Garnacho. Napoli, of course, are looking for a replacement for Kvaratskhelia. You know, he went to PSG not so long ago for around £59 million. But now it is mentioned that Chelsea are in pole position to get Garnacho. There has been talks of a swap deal involving Garnacho and Christopher Nkunku. But Maresca, the Chelsea boss, did say he's happy with his wingers. You know, Garnacho, of course, has made around 119 appearances for the first team. Manchester United got him from Atletico Madrid. Garnacho's under contract with the club until 2028. I did initially say that I wanted Harry Maguire to leave the club, but obviously we now know that Harry Maguire is going to be staying because the other week he got his contract extended. That's why Man United dropped their interest in Jarrad Branthwaite from Everton. Christian Eriksen, you know, he's another player that needs to go as well. You know, like I've said, you know, I would get rid of the vast majority of the team. You know, we have let a lot of players go, you know, especially in recent years. You know, we let the likes of Fred go, Jadon Sancho, Anthony Martial, De Gea, Matic, Pogba, Aaron Wan-Bissaka. You know, so we have let a lot of players go. But, you know, Ruben Amorim, you know, we've got to give him time, like I've said. You know, in the past few weeks, there has been a lot of United fans criticising him and demanding him out of the club. I'm hoping this season Manchester United can get some silverware. You know, we can still win the FA Cup. We can still win the Europa League. You know, we're more or less into the last 16 of the Europa League anyway. The last time Man United won the Europa League was back in 2017 under the Jose Mourinho era. You know, Manchester United have been in transition now for, a good, 12 years or something now. So we've been in transition since Ferguson retired. And since Ferguson retired, Manchester United have had around, about 7 or 8 managers. Something like that anyway. You know, after Ferguson we had David Moyes. You know, he only enjoyed a short tenure at the club. He enjoyed, about 8 months, was it? Then he got sacked. Finished 7th under the David Moyes era. Didn't win anything under him. Of course, Moyes got recommended in by Ferguson. The only reason for that is because obviously Ferguson had a lot of time for Moyes, plus they were both Scottish. Obviously then we had Van Gaal, won the FA Cup under him, had a good start under him, then it went downhill, so ended up getting rid of him. Then we had Mourinho, had one good season under him, you know, won the Europa League and the Carabao Cup. Obviously weren't so good in his second season, so then obviously Man United sacked him. The reasons it didn't work out under Mourinho is because he had bad disputes with the board and bad disputes with the top players. And you can say maybe he'd passed his sell-by date when we got him in, maybe we should have got him in earlier. Then obviously after that we had Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. You know, started off well under him as interim manager, won most of his games as interim manager. Then of course Manchester United decided to give him the job on a permanent basis, then it all went wrong. You know, didn't win out under Solskjaer, but you know, he got us to like semi-finals and a quarter-final, didn't he? Finished third in his first season, second in his second season. Then of course we had Ralph Rangnick, didn't work out under him either, you know, got rid of him. Of course Manchester United got rid of Erik ten Hag, you know, and that was the right decision because he wasn't the right man for Manchester United. Did win 2 trophies though, that was the Carabao Cup and the FA Cup. Of course Manchester United winning that FA Cup final last season against Man City saved his job. If we hadn't won the FA Cup final, he would have been sacked with Erik ten Hag. You know, we've had a few interim managers as well. But like I've said, Manchester United, one of the biggest clubs in the world, most successful team in England historically. You know, we have got 20 titles, but we've not won the Premier League since 2013. You know, Manchester United are billions of pounds in debt. So obviously reflecting on that, you know, we've got to, you know, sell players and generate money before we can recommend players into the club. Obviously there is talks of obviously United building a new stadium, getting around a 100,000 capacity stadium. Well, as it stands, you know, we've got around a 76 capacity stadium at the moment. It's the second biggest stadium in England. But anyway, you know, Manchester United's next game is FCSB in the Europa League. I think our next league game is Crystal Palace. But yeah, reflecting on today's game, like I said, not the best of performances, but Manchester United did get the win. Because there was actually people out there expecting Fulham to get a win or minimum get a draw. Because Fulham have actually done well throughout the course of this season. So anyway guys, that's everything to update you with. Drop your comments, likes on the channel. If you do, consider subscribing as always, and take care. God bless.